a book, Socialism Sucks. Your money from your pocket. His name is Joe Sixpack. Joe, how's it going?
I'm doing well, Paul. How are you?
I'm doing good. Hey, first of all, the response to your book, I'm sure it's pretty good right now, considering this country's having this high debate right now of whether or not we want to stick with the system we got or transition to the Venezuelan-style socialism.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, it's utterly ridiculous. I guess it really boils down to that, you can vote yourself into socialism, but you have to shoot your way out of it. Only caveat there is the government's already got your guns. So it's pretty sick stuff.
Yeah, it really is sick stuff. What are your thoughts right now on the presidential race? I've got this headline here: Joe Biden struggles to reverse fall. He recently came out yesterday and apologized for using the word lynching back during the Clinton impeachment. What are your thoughts on Biden right now?
I mean, how mealy-mouthed is that? If he used the word out of context and then he, has roll it back and apologize, I mean, it just shows you what a wet taco this guy is. I mean, I think 2020 is another sweep. I mean, can you imagine any of those clowns on the Democratic Party being on stage with Donald Trump? I mean, it's going to be a circus.
I think it will be a circus. I also think there's, that's why I think people maybe believe Hillary's going to get back in, but I think that would just be a redo. I mean, that I don't know what. That's why they really can't do anything but try to impeach him and remove him from office, or whether it's impeachment or 25th Amendment. That's all they've got, because I think they realize right now, I mean, he's winning. I mean, and he's going to win again.
Absolutely. If Hillary, I swear to God, I hope she comes back. I will donate to her campaign. I'll throw $100. I would love her to run again.
Yeah,
it would be hilarious.
It really would. So I also have this other piece here, and this was in the news. Tulsi Gabbard fires back at the queen of warmongers, Hillary Clinton, for suggesting she's a Russian asset. So Hillary's out there really. I mean, I guess everybody's a Russian asset if you're not. The only one who's not a Russian asset, I guess, is Hillary, I guess, according to her.
Yeah, well, and that's so funny, because obviously it was her and Obama who were in bed with the Russians. Her selling the uranium, Obama, on the open mic, tells Vlad, "I'll have more flexibility after the election." And so this is just pure projectionism, straight out of the Saul Alinsky playbook, running around accusing the opponents of doing everything that you're doing. And it's so funny that they don't realize how transparent it is. That we see right through this.
Yeah, we see projection, I think, in all levels of government. I think you see it at the national stage. You see it here in Arkansas. We see projection all the time at the state level, and then at the local level. You kind of project the very thing that you're guilty of onto your opponents. And then we have this other headline here, Joe, about Bernie Sanders is back. He's back on the campaign trail. What's up? I mean, now he's the first one, really, where he was an open socialist. He openly said, this was years ago, and people are like, okay, yeah, there's this one guy who's socialist in the Democrat Party, but that'll never take hold. It clearly has, but I don't think he has much of a chance to get the nomination at this point. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I mean, good Lord, it's like The Walking Dead. I mean, again, can you see him on stage with Trump, with his line of arguments, which is just basically free everything? There's nothing there. I mean, he gets some people at his campaigns, but look at the size and the numbers compared to what Trump pulls in. Mm-hmm. And I think that's across the board with all these guys. They're not one of them stands a chance, not in this reality. But to your point, the socialism has increased tremendously. 5 years ago, if I had said anybody in Washington was a socialist, people would laugh me out of the room. Thought I was a raving nutcase. Who would ever be a socialist? But you're right. He's the guy who first stood up, and as soon as he did that, all of a sudden socialism was just all the rage among the young people.
A little bit of perspective here also. And by the way, we're talking with Joe Sixpack. He's the author of this book called Socialism Sucks, Your Money from Your Pocket. I guess I've been in radio now 10 years, and when I started and Obama was in office, we started criticizing his policies, people on the right, as socialism. I mean, that's what we were saying. And I don't know if people remember this, but Obama's not a socialist, or Obama would even make fun of those of us on the right calling him a socialist in his speeches. And it was, even back then, it wasn't that long ago that the Democrat Party was rejecting this label of socialism, and now they don't have a problem with it. And they also, by the way, some of them have come out and said, yes, we're going to take your AR-15s.
Yeah, well, that's the sneaky side. That's kind of what I try to point out in the book. It's for young people, really. It's not for people our age. It's for us to buy 4 or 5 copies and give it to our kids and have speeches. But it's the creep. And so, yes, they were doing everything that was socialist ever since the 60s. I mean, it's gone back further than that, but especially since the 60s. And the creep, if you look at how far the political spectrum has shifted, the Republicans are what the Democrats were 40 years ago. The Democrats are now the, socialist Democrats of the U.S. It's this creep, and that's really what incited me to write this book. I was out of country for 10 years. I came back, and I was blown away by how much socialism had encroached on American society.
I'm glad you brought that up. I do want to remind people, you just said you were out of country for 10 years. You came back, and it was a different country. I mean, it changed that quickly.
Yes.
It says here, this is kind of a write-up of the book, socialists are posing as teachers, they're posing as professors, and they're brainwashing young people into believing socialism is the answer, aren't they?
Absolutely. I don't call them schools anymore. I call them G6, Government Socialist Indoctrination Camps. And the height of the political correctness in the schools is just absolutely astounding.
Mm-hmm. So if you've got if you've got a kid, all right, if you've got a child who's kind of, a lot of people are more liberal-minded when they're younger. You think this would be a good book for them? That's what you're saying, that this might be a good read to figure out how, hey, I mean, the title certainly is catchy for a younger audience.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the whole point. The Democrats do a great job of appealing to young people, but the Republicans, it's like they don't even care. And so I'm not necessarily pushing capitalism on kids. The real essence of it is think for yourself. Use common sense. If you look at something and you see who's benefiting from it, forget about the nice, pretty words they dress it up in. Mm-hmm. Look at who's benefiting, and you'll be able to figure out what their intentions are. That's really what's at the core of the book, pushing common sense.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right, and I always appreciate having you on, Joe. Best of luck to you, and things are going to continue heating up. I mean, next year's going to be a huge year. A lot of rhetoric's going to be swirling, and I appreciate what you're doing, and keep up the good work.
I can't wait. Thank you very much. I
All right.
appreciate it, Paul.
Yeah, yes,
Take
sir.
care.